If you look at the John Fury 4 months ago, standing up on the world stage, screaming that he wants to fight Mike Tyson, and then Mike Tyson sort of smiled and sort of a little giggle at it. Then John Fury screaming, I will fight any 58-year-old man on the planet brave enough to get into the boxing ring with me. Well, I've stepped up to the mark and I've said, I'm brave enough to get in a box you, John. Now, the John Fury that was on free bets the other day is a tame version of the man 4 months ago that was screaming and shouting. He looked like a shell of a man because he knows he's got a worthy challenge in front of him. And he is, for some reason, is not accepting this challenge. I will fight any man on this planet except Joe Egan. You know,
It seems like it. Any excuse.
that's what it seems like. That's what it
So
seems like.
let's talk about his excuses. The first one was about no offers being sent out. He was saying something like people going on podcasts. I wonder who he's talking about. People going on podcasts and calling him out, but not offering anything. So, can you give us any updates on that?
Well, he was saying them and they. He wasn't giving me the respect of saying my name. I've earned the right for another boxer to call me by my name. I'm Joe Egan. I've stepped into the boxing ring. Respect me as a boxer like I respect him as a boxer. Respect me as a man like I respect him as a man. I'm not a them or a they. Then, when he acknowledged me by my name, he said it's not good business sense to box me. But at the same breath, he's saying we'll step into a barn and fight for free. And when he sees me, he's going to take my coat off and fight for free. So what business sense is in that when he won't step into a boxing ring on the world stage, when Misfits Boxing are trying to negotiate terms for me and him to box, and he's point blank said he will not negotiate any terms for boxing me. He wants to box Mike Tyson, which isn't going to happen, or Carl Froch, which isn't going to happen. So step up to the challenge that's in front of you. You have thrown down the gauntlet. You have made a public challenge to any 58-year-old on the planet brave enough to box him. And I've stepped up to the mark. His own son said, step up to the mark now, Dad. That's his boy. His other son has directed, this is Tyson Fury, has directed a statement. Now, he didn't direct it at me because he didn't say, be careful what you wish for, Joe. He just said, be careful what you wish for. And I think that's directed at his dad because his dad was wishing for an opponent to step up to the mark.
That's true. That's true. He's the one that made the challenge.
Yeah, and I believe at this stage of our lives, it's a challenge. And I think I will rise to the occasion. I think on the night I can beat John Fury. But if the boxing match happens, John will be thinking he can beat me. The best man's going to win, and I hope it's me on the night.
You're both very respectable people in the industry. You both have done a lot, especially you with Mike, him with Tyson. Just as you as a training partner, I think it's quite crazy to be called the toughest white man on the planet by Iron Mike.
We were sparring
in his day.
We were sparring games one day, me and Mike, and those four white sparring partners, which was unusual. Normally to be some black guys. This day, those four white sparring partners, you knocked three of them out. I was number four. I got battered, but I never got put down. At the end of the spar, Mike Tyson said, Joe Egan is the toughest white man on the planet. Far from it. I was the toughest white man in the gym that day. What a compliment from a man like Mike Tyson. But I shared the ring with Mike Tyson. I got battered by Mike Tyson. I shared the ring with Lennox Lewis, and I got battered by Lennox Lewis. But I stayed on my feet with two of the best heavyweights of my era, maybe two of the best heavyweights up there of all time.
I think that's safe to say.
It was a privilege and an honor to share the ring with them. Every fighter that climbs into the ring dreams about becoming a champion of the world. I wasn't good enough. But to share the ring with two of the best heavyweights of my era was an honor. And to be able to say that they're my friends all these years on is something very special. But that's boxing for you. First and foremost, it gives you self-respect, and then it gives you respect for your opponent. John Fury is dragging the sport down because he's not respectful to other boxers. And I think that it's sad, really, when he tried to belittle Carl Frampton, when he tried to belittle Carl Froch, two exceptional champions of the world, two
Yeah.
incredible fighters, and he has tried to belittle them with his limited achievements. John Fury was just a journeyman fighter. He wasn't much good. Same as me, I wasn't much good. We were just tough men.
I mean, you
But you don't.
got you got injured, Joe. You got prematurely.
I wasn't good enough to be a champion of the world. I dreamed the dream. Every fighter that climbs into the ring dreams about becoming a champion of the world. I wasn't good enough. I was anywhere near good enough. But one thing I wouldn't do is belittle a world champion's achievements, because you don't get given them. You have to
Yeah.
earn them world
Yeah.
titles, and you earn them the hard way. And for John Fury to try and belittle a champion of the world is so disrespectful. He is dragging the sport into the gutter, and it's not a gutter sport. People say that boxers come from the gutter. Boxers don't come from the gutter. Boxers come from humble beginnings, and they fight their way out of humble beginnings to make a better life for themselves and for their families.
Yeah, it's
And
it's
that's what
very
John Fury.
honorable when you look at the lives and of a lot of the greats. They come from nothing, and then they empower their communities, their local communities. It's amazing when you see it, and it is terrible when it gets turned into people get insulted and demeaned and belittled, especially with that amount of effort. And it takes a special sort of man to go into the ring and put that on the line.
Something that you're born with is courage. You're born with that. You can teach somebody skills, you can help their ability improve, but you cannot teach them courage. You're either born with courage or you're not born with courage. If you're not born with courage, you play basketball, you play soccer, you play tennis, or you play golf. You don't play boxing, you don't play martial arts, you don't play kickboxing, you don't play cage fighting. Any form of fighting on the mat, in the cage, in the ring, is a man or woman of courage to walk and engage in a fight. Because see that walk that you've got to walk is the hardest walk in the world. To know that you are going to get in, the chances are you're going to get hurt. The chances are you might lose. But to walk into that ring, to walk onto that mat, to walk into that cage, you have to have an abundance of courage. And I admire every fighter, male or female, that walks that walk. I admire and respect John Fury as a fighter. I'm a bit disappointed with his conduct, because boxing doesn't just need great boxers, it needs great ambassadors. He's not a great
Yep.
ambassador for the sport at this moment in time.
Not right now.
And I'm a bit disappointed. I'm a bit disappointed with the fact that he's called on a fight. I've stepped up to the mark, and he's tried to belittle me, saying I'm not worthy. It doesn't make good business sense.
Empty
But
words.
if it doesn't make good business sense to box me, why would it make good business sense to fight me in a barn for free? What good business sense is that? You know, I'm not a businessman. I'm not a businessman, but I know a boxing match, getting paid to have a boxing match,
See,
is
I
better
thought
than
it
going
was
to the
gonna
bar for
be
free.
an easy deal considering you're both Irish and you share that history and respect. I don't know. It was interesting.
I
It's an
didn't think there'd be a
interesting
problem
response.
making. I didn't think there'd be a problem making this match. Not with Misfits Boxing being
I mean,
prepared to put up the money. Not with Misfits Boxing being prepared to make the match. Not with the interest that's been shown around the world. I cannot believe. I know that John Fury is capitalising on his son's achievements as a heavyweight champion of the world. And yes, I'm capitalising on the fact that John Fury is Tyson's daddy. But I'm also capitalising on the fact that Mike Tyson has thrown his weight behind me. And Mike Tyson had said, John, you called me out. I'm not going to fight you. But my friend and former sparring partner, Joe Egan, is going to defend my honour, and he is going to fight you. John Fury isn't a worthy opponent for Mike Tyson. Do you understand? So
no,
why
the
would Mike
accolades
Tyson?
just don't match up.
He wouldn't consider boxing John Fury, Mike. He's too many, too. I'm trying to think of the proper wording without being disrespectful to John. Two different leagues. Do you
Yeah,
understand?
Yeah.
John Fury has limited ability as a journeyman fighter. I'm limited ability as a sparring partner. But two donkeys make a good race. Me and John would have a good fight. But the thing is, John Fury thinking about getting into the ring to fight Mike Tyson, no, it wouldn't be. It would be a mismatch. It would be
Yeah,
a
I
mismatch.
don't think the
Mike was
marketing would
perfect.
go quite well. You know, ex-world champion, the scariest man on the planet for around a decade versus Tyson Fury instead. I don't think it would sell well. You two are two like big brawlers. You're
We
not
would
afraid to
stand.
get hurt.
We would stand in the center of the ring and we would hit each other. The
Fireworks.
YouTubers, the worldwide web, the boxing fans around the world would see two warriors in the latter stage of their lives, standing there as proud men hitting each other. I've been hit in the chin by a lot of world champions and I wasn't knocked out. John was hit in the chin by one world champion and he was knocked out. My chin, I believe,
Oh,
is granite. My chin is stronger than John Fury's, and I think I will be able to take his punches on the night. I don't think his chin will be able to take my punches. I hope his chin's not able to take my punches if the fight's made, you know.
that's a
But
very interesting point. Now,
I'm
Joe,
hoping.
I wanna move on to something else because they made a few claims on the podcast about your relevance and how you're just not a big name and the whole, it doesn't make business sense to fight you. So I looked into the stats. I managed the website and everything. So I'm just gonna share my screen right now and let me know when you can see it.
I can see it now. Yes.
So these are the Search Console stats for your website in the last 28 days. Let's let the stats talk. In the podcast, they said you had 2,600 monthly searches, and that was actually an inflated figure because of the whole this stuff that's going on. Now we managed the website in the last 28 days. Your website has gotten over double those in clicks, and on top of that your impressions have been 105,000. Now, your website, correct me if I'm wrong, which I'm not because we manage the website. Your website is literally just all you. So the only way it would show up on Google as an impression is if somebody searched you up, isn't it? So,
I'm, 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 I'm humbled by the amount of people that take an interest in me and my life. To understand? But John Fury and the chap that done the free bets interview, trying to humiliate me and belittle me, were wrong. I haven't belittled or humiliated John Fury. I've
no,
stated fact. You
just
know,
sounds
they're
like a
not
smear
stating facts
campaign.
about me. Yeah, but listen, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me. What's worse than being talked about? Not being talked about. So John Fury, keep talking about me. Do you understand? Because the more you talk about me, the better chance we have of making this fight.
Well,
If
let's go
people,
on and I'll show you how many people are talking about you. So that's your website stats for the last 28 days. We'll go on to the next bit. If you look at your the top search queries on your website, the name Joe Egan, your website showed up 72,000 times for your name alone, which means that's how many searches there were. Let's move
a
on from
day,
that.
is that a day or a week or a month? I don't know. I don't
That's
understand.
28 days. This first
28 days.
screenshot.
Thank you.
So that's the second part of it. And then, so you know
72,000
how I
people.
was talking. Sorry, go ahead.
72,000 people have searched me in a month. Oh, well.
Yeah. So, uh, if we go on Google Trends, which shows who's relevant and who's being talked about, this is you and you in the blue and John Fury in the red in the UK. Now, if we look at it, John Fury's had some little spikes. You've had some little spikes. It's been a bit even over here. And then look, he gets a spike. You get two even bigger spikes. You get a third. He has a spike that's just a lower than yours. Then you get another spike, and you get a huge spike there, and it dies down a little. So you've actually had more relevance in the last day than he has. This is just yesterday.
And his son is the heavyweight champion of the world, so I'm flattered with that. Now,
Yeah,
like I
Joe,
say,
that's you might be humbled, but we're looking out for you. We
yeah,
know the stats, and we're going to show it.
E4K has been managing my website now for a number of years. Kamal Singh and the team at the E4K office have looked after my website now for a number of years, and thank you. But I don't understand all this. I had 3 lessons on computers, and it wasn't for me. But like I say, onwards and upwards.
Yeah,
It's
and
it's
then if we look at this, this is a web tool that actually analyzes all of the Google searches. And for January 2024, for your exact name, the average every month is 8,100 people searching for you. And then in January of this year, there were 20,888 mobile searches and 12,212 desktop searches that they found. Now, obviously, they don't have a complete set of data, but that is a guaranteed amount, which is quite a
well,
lot more than they said you were getting.
well, I wasn't expecting anything different from them. They're not going to sing my praises. They're trying to put me down at every opportunity, verbally. But John Fury should get into the boxing ring and try to put me down physically if
I
he's a
mean,
man enough.
if they're offering money and your game, what's stopping you guys?
Well, Misfits Boxing have tried to negotiate with his lawyers and him, and he's point blank said he doesn't want any negotiations at all with a fight with me. And that's a sad statement, really, for a man that's called out any 58-year-old on the planet prepared to box him. You know, I'm prepared to fight any 58-year-old on the planet except Joe Egan. You know, it's sort of,
You
it
could
takes the
have
shine off.
you could have two quotes on you now. Is Mike Tyson the baddest, the toughest white man on the planet, and for John Fury, it's going to be the only 58-year-old born of a woman that I'm scared of.
Yeah, yeah, because he's saying he's not scared of any man on the planet. I'm not going to call him a coward. I'm not going to call him scared of me. But he's trying to make the fight with Mike Tyson. That's not going to happen. He's trying to make the
It's
fight with Carl Froch. That's not going to happen. So make the fight happen that's in front of him, that the world wants to see. I cannot believe the world's interest in this fight. I
yeah.
really can't believe it, you know, because at the
Considering the
end of the
people
day,
that have got in touch with you, so many people have got in touch with you, and big names as well. The True Geordie isn't a small channel.
millions of people have took an interest in this fight. Incredible. Now, if Misfits Boxing make this fight and they put it out to pay-per-view, which they will on the World Wide Web, and these millions of people that have took an interest in the fight pay to watch this fight, it's going to generate a lot of money for Misfits Boxing. And that's going to generate a lot of money for the sport that I love. And it's going to bring more people into the sport that I love. And it's good for boxing. So, John Fury, step up to the mark. You've called it on. You've talked the talk. Now walk the walk.
Now, I want to just add on to this. John Fury has a lot to gain from this fight. Let's say you guys fight and he wins. All of those talks from KSI and other influencers that have called him out, he can say, "I stepped up into the ring and I fought somebody."
The thing is, with the fight, if John has any chance at all of getting into the ring with Mike Tyson, he's got to dispatch me. He's got to be able to take me out. He's got to be able to beat me.
Show that
And
you can fight.
then lay down a challenge, throw down the gauntlet to Mike Tyson and say, well, I've just beaten your sparring partner. You know, give me an opportunity to get in with you. I'm not saying that Mike would take it on, but he's a step closer to getting that fight that he's calling on. But
I
he's got
mean,
to get
that
past
would be
me.
quite convincing.
Yeah, well, he's got to get past me. I don't think he can beat me. On my day, I think I can beat him. But that's just my opinion. His
Yeah.
opinion would be different to mine. He would believe that he can beat me. But the
And if
thing
he
is,
has that different opinion, then step in the ring.
and show what he's capable of. I'm
Yeah.
prepared to get in and show what I'm capable of.
I am so excited for this fight, seeing two legends fight it out.
We're just two tough men. That's all we have ever been is two tough men. Do you understand? And two tough men, like I said earlier, two donkeys make a great race. Two tough men standing in the center of the ring. We're too old to be dancing around. We're too old to be um, showing skills that would be long gone. But we will just punch each other. And we
Yeah.
will punch each other as hard as we possibly can. And the best man will win on the night. And it will be
Yeah.
exciting while it lasts.
Yeah.
And I think that the YouTubers will enjoy seeing two older warriors perform,
Yeah.
two older gladiators perform. And the pride on the night will be, it'll be two proud men not wanting to
Yeah.
give ground.
Thing is,
Two
win or
proud men not
lose,
wanting to
you
give ground.
both stepped up to the plate in front of the world stage. In You're not in your primes anymore. This is a big deal. Somebody who can step out of their comfort zone at that age and get back into the work grind,
To
get back into the gym, the ring.
have a challenge at this stage of my life. It's 20 years since I've been in the boxing ring, but it's 20 years since I've cycled the bike around the streets. But I could still get onto a bike and cycle it tomorrow. I'm not going to win Tour de France, but I could cycle a bike. I know my way around the boxing ring. And to have a challenge at this stage of my life, I'm not ready for my slippers. I'm not ready for my rocking chair yet. To understand, I still think there's a little bit of fire in my
Yeah.
belly. I think there's a little bit of still ambition in me. And the ambition is when John Fury threw down the challenge to any 58-year-old on the planet to fight him,
It
it
was
brought out
made
the
for you.
ambition in me.
It was like
There,
legitimately
it's
made for
there,
you. It
it's
was meant to
there in
happen.
front of me. It's there in front of me, and I've accepted his challenge. Now let him have the pride, the dignity to accept me accepting his challenge. Be dignified about it. Don't write me off verbally. Don't belittle me. Don't humiliate me with words. Try and get in and beat me as a man with punches. Don't try and beat me with words.
And if you're gonna talk about Joe Egan, use his name.
I'm not a
If you're
damn a
gonna
day.
dodge him,
I'm
use
not
his
a damn
name.
a day. Thank you, Ibs. I'm not a damn a day. Right? I've earned the right to be called my name by another
Yeah.
boxer. Understand? We should have, like I said, boxing gives you first and foremost self-respect and respect for other fighters.
Yeah.
He should have respect for me as a fighting man, like I have for him as a fighting man. I don't call him them a day. I'll call him by his name, John Fury. I let him call me by my name. At least when he done that free bets podcast, the interviewer called me by my name,
Yeah.
and I've earned the right to be called by my name in boxing circles.